What if I told you some UFC fighters made just as much noise after the fight as they did during it? We're talking about the Warriors who didn't just win, they stole the show, racked up bonuses like trophies, and turned every octagon appearance into a highlight reel. From wild brawls and jaw-dropping knockouts to slick submissions and unforgettable wars, these are the fighters who made Dana White reach for his checkbook every time they fought. This isn't just about wins and losses, it's about putting on a show. These are the top 10 UFC fighters with the most performance bonuses of all time. Number 10, Tony Ferguson, 12 bonuses. Tony El Cucuy Ferguson is one of the most unpredictable and entertaining fighters in UFC history. From spinning elbows to dash chokes, his fights were pure chaos and fans loved it. Winner of The Ultimate Fighter Season 13, interim lightweight champ, and owner of a legendary 12-fight win streak tied with Khabib, Tony collected 12 UFC bonuses, 6 Fight of the Nights, plus knockout submission and 3 Performance of the Night awards. He's tied for 4th most finishes in lightweight history and ranks among the top 10 in strikes landed. Even with an 8-fight skid, his legacy stands. Violence, excitement, and unforgettable moments. Number 9, Frankie Edgar, 13 bonuses. Frankie, the answer, was never the biggest in the cage, but he had one of the biggest hearts. A former lightweight champ with 3 title defenses, Frankie faced legends across weight classes. He earned 8 Fight of the Night bonuses in wars with Tyson Griffin, Gray Maynard, Benson Henderson, Jose Aldo, and Pedro Munhoz, tying him for 4th all time. His trilogy with Maynard produced one of UFC's best rivalries, ending with a knockout of the night. With Performance of the Night wins over Cub Swanson and Chad Mendes, nearly 8 hours of fight time, 3rd all time, and a 2024 Hall of Fame induction, Edgar fought for respect and got it. Number 8, Anderson Silva, 14 bonuses. Anderson. The Spider Silva didn't just win, he turned fights into art. From front kicks to no-look knockouts, he made the octagon his canvas. A UFC middleweight champion for 2,457 days, Silva defended his title 10 times the most in middleweight history and owns the 2nd longest streak of consecutive title defenses in UFC history. He holds the all-time record for Knockout of the Night bonuses 7, plus 2 Submission of the Night, including his legendary triangle choke comeback against Charles Sonnen, now in the UFC Hall of Fame. Add 5 Fight of the Nights, and Silva's 14 total post-fight bonuses tie him for 7th most in UFC history. He still leads middleweight in finishes, knockdowns, and knockouts in title fights and shares the UFC record for most knockdowns, 18. His 16-fight win streak remains unmatched. Every time Silva fought, you expected something special, and he delivered. Number 7, Justin Gaethje, 14 bonuses. Justin, the highlight. Gaethje is chaos in motion. In 14 UFC fights, he's earned 14 bonuses. The only fighter with a perfect bonus per bout record, including his first 7 in a row. 9 Fight of the Night awards, 3rd most in UFC history, came from wars with Michael Johnson, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, and Max Holloway. He's also scored 5 Performance of the Nights with violent finishes over Johnson, Vick, Cerrone, Ferguson, and Poirier. His head kick KO in the Poirier rematch won Fans' Choice Knockout of the Year. Gaethje ranks top 10 in knockouts, knockdowns, and strikes landed in lightweight history, connecting at an elite 58.8% rate. A former interim lightweight champion and current BMF title holder, Gaethje doesn't fight safe, he fights to thrill. Number 6, Jim Miller, 15 bonuses. Jim Miller is the definition of a UFC lifer, gritty, durable, and still dangerous nearly 2 decades in. With 15 post-fight bonuses, he's tied for 4th most in UFC history, including 7 Fight of the Nights against names like Joe Lawson, Dustin Poirier, and Michael Chiesa. He's also picked up 5 Performance of the Night with recent finishes over Jesse Butler and Gabriel Benitez, plus 3 Submission of the Nights, 1 coming from a huge upset over Charles Oliveira. Miller owns the UFC records for most wins, 27, most lightweight finishes, 17, and most lightweight submissions, 11. He's also the only fighter to compete at UFC 100, 200, and 300, a living time capsule of the sport. From gritty brawls to slick submissions, Miller's done it all, and he's still adding to his legacy. Number 5, Joe Lawson, 15 bonuses. Joe Lawson wasn't chasing belts, he was chasing chaos. With 15 post-fight bonuses, tied for 4th most in UFC history and the most in lightweight history, he built a career on action. His 6 Submission of the Night awards, the most in UFC history, came from finishes over Jeremy Stevens, Melvin Guillard, and Jamie Varner. Lawson also earned 7 Fight of the Nights in Wild Wars with Jim Miller twice, George Sotiropoulos, and Michael Chiesa. He even scored a knockout of the night in his UFC debut against Jens Pulver, ranking 3rd all-time in lightweight finishes and tied for 3rd in appearances. Lawson was a bonus machine, a submission wizard, and a fan favourite who never took a step back. Number 4, Dustin Poirier, 15 bonuses. Dustin, the Diamond Poirier, is high-stakes violence with heart. A former interim lightweight champ, he's tied for the most Fight of the Night awards in UFC history, 10. Going to war with Gaethje, Holloway, Hooker, Chandler, and Makhachev in instant classics. He's also earned 4 Performance of the Night bonuses with statement wins over Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez, and Carlos Diego Ferreira. Plus, a Submission of the Night for tapping Max Holloway in their first meeting. The record book is stacked with his name. Tied for most lightweight knockouts, 9, second most significant strikes at lightweight, 1,308. 5th most knockdowns in UFC history, 15, and tied for 5th most UFC finishes overall, 15. He's beaten 5 former champs, including Holloway, McGregor, Pettis, Gaethje, and Alvarez, and is the only fighter to win an interim belt by beating a reigning undisputed champ. Poirier's mix of grit, skill, and fight IQ makes every appearance must watch. Number 3, Nate Diaz, 16 bonuses. Nate Diaz, Stockton, tough and chaos in human form. With 16 post-fight bonuses, he's 3rd all-time in UFC history. That's 8 Fight of the Night awards, including 2 legendary wars with Conor McGregor, plus 5 Submission of the Nights, like his triangle on Kurt Pellegrino flexing mid-finish. Add a knockout of the night for Gray Maynard and 2 Performances of the Night, and his highlight reel is pure Diaz. He's tied for 4th most lightweight submissions and ranks 5th all-time in strikes landed. From the Ultimate Fighter 5 to cult hero status, every fight was personal. Number 2, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, 18 bonuses. If anyone, anytime, anywhere was a person, it's Donald Cerrone. With 18 post-fight bonuses, second most in UFC history, he delivered 6 Fight of the Nights, 3 knockouts of the night, 2 submissions, and 7 performances. His record book is stacked. Most UFC knockdowns, 20, tied for most Zuffa wins, 29, most head kick KOs, 6, tied for second most finishes, 16, and 3rd most UFC fights, 38. No matter the weight class or the notice, Cowboy showed up and went to war, earning a Hall of Fame spot in 2023. Number 1, Charles Oliveira, 20 bonuses. Charles do Bronx, Oliveira tops the list with 20 post-fight bonuses, the most in UFC history. The former lightweight champs rise from unranked featherweight to the throne was the ultimate comeback story. He holds a record 13 Performances of the Night, plus 3 Submission and 4 Fight of the Night awards. Oliveira is the UFC's all-time leader in finishes, 20, and submissions, 16. with a record 5 guillotines and 3 anacondas. Whether it's a rear naked choke, standing TKO, or a 3-round war, Oliveira never just wins. He makes a statement. Bonuses aren't just about winning, they're about showing up, putting on a show, and making the crowd erupt. These 10 fighters didn't just fight to win, they fought to entertain. Who's your favourite bonus hunter? Drop their name in the comments, and if you want more breakdowns like this, smash that like button like Gaethje smashes low kicks, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next round.